Shalom. Giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone, which rule well. Peace, much love, honors and blessings, salutations to the elect of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, which hold their conduct, composure, and integrity. Standing in the holy fast and believing in the faith of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, no matter what. Trusting in those names, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God. And Yahweh Shai, the Son of God, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Nevertheless, the true names are Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. All right, and only the elect are going to understand, and only the elect are going to grab to those names. The rest of the world is going to despise those names. They're going to keep disbelieving. All right. That's why the scriptures do talk about the unbelieving. Okay, the ungodly and the unbelieving, the disbelieving. All right. Ultimately, at the end of the day, if you do not submit and worship those names, you are not the elect. Especially if you ain't an Israelite. You have to be an Israelite to get those names. All right. These heathen, these other nations, so-called white men as well. You can hear them, but you ain't going to commit to them. You ain't going to believe them. All right, you can't. It's impossible. Scriptures speak well. All right, and so again, the elect will understand, and we will praise those holy names. So call Allah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Lord willing, I'm part of that number. But this lesson, as you can see right there in the title, that religion was used to submit the Israelites. And I really want to just go into that word religion, because actually the scriptures talk about the word religion. All right. And in fact, I'll actually get that real quick, because, we're still in a time where religion is being heavily used to suppress or to keep you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians down in a way of thinking and believing that's not right. And ultimately, it keeps you upset. It keeps you separate from your power. A lot of you Israelites, man, you today, because Esau allows you to worship or believe in whatever bullshit religion you want to, now you're stuck in whatever it is that you think is the truth. Some of y'all know there's a God, but you call him different names, and that's why we stress the importance of the names. Because you can't just call a God whatever the fuck you want, man. There's a name to this power. And so this misconception and misunderstanding that you people have been drawn to on how you can worship whatever you want and the Lord will still love you or still accept you, or that it still shows that you love the Lord, or whatever it may be, man. That's not the case. This was all done through what was called religion. And the so-called white man used religion to get over on you Israelites, because he knows that you're the most zealous people on the planet. He knows at the end of the day that the Israelites are zealously drawn to worship. All right, and so that's how he used. You had the plantation Christianity, which that right there, Christianity and it was entirely built upon a submission doctrine. And so actually, I don't know if I have it. I had pulled it up earlier in this week, and I might have deleted it. But you can go on Google and you can type, was religion used to submit the black man? And it will tell you yes. Google AI will say yes. Religion was used to submit you Negroes. Mainly in this time, because this is where, that whole debacle between the so-called white man and our people really was going down, man. Like, you got Esau showing his hate during the time of slavery, and the ones that were paying for that the most were you so-called Negroes. And there's reason for that. All right. So let me see. Was religion used to submit the black man? Let's see if Google will give me the same response. Yeah. So I typed in, was religion used? Well, you know what? Don't let me get this all cluttered. Let me first get this precept. Got to always have a precept first. This is let's see. This is James chapter 1 and verse 26. It says, if any man among you seem to be religious, if bridleth not his tongue, meaning if he can't shut the fuck up, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain. Because every religion, a pure religion, the right religion, man, will hedge a man up to act accordingly and ultimately teach the truth. That's true religion. Because when you look in the word religion, it means to bind or restrain or to tie back. And ultimately, there's a positive, there's a good to everything. Being tied or binded is to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. All right? Now, in this time, Esau uses religion to bind and restrain you from the truth. That's why you had plantation Christianity. That's why you had religion. Religion is not even a real thing, man. What the Bible is about, because the Bible is not religious. That's what you people don't understand. The Bible is a heritage. All right? A heritage and inheritance. That's what it is. When you read the Bible is only for the Israelites. It's nobody else's fucking book. That's why the Lord tells you in Psalms 50, it says, but unto the wicked thou hast said, what hast thou to do? What hast thou to do to declare my statutes? Or that thou shouldest holdest my ways in thy mouth? Like, what are you, that question, the Lord is asking, what the fuck are you doing, you other nations, the devil Esau, with the so-called white man, what are you doing even holding my book in your hand? Why are you trying to use it against my people? Because again, this book, the Bible is a heritage. It's a story and history and heritage of the Israelites. That the one book you want to know about, these other nations, you can go into the scriptures, but the Bible shows what these other nations were doing to the Israelites in that book. Okay? This is a what do you call it? A timeline of the Israelites' history. Okay? And the Israelites are your so-called blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians, and so forth. All you got to do on Google, if you don't know who the Israelites are, go on Google and type in the 12 tribes of Israel. It'll show you who they are. All right? So, yeah. So anyways, the word religion, let me read that precept again. James 1 and 26, it says, if any man among you seems to be religious and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain. And you notice too in these churches, man, these jakes, these Israelites never shut the fuck up, man. They always, oh God, just talking. Shut up, man. True religion, like I said, there's a you can tell when someone's being influenced by something pure, man. They know how to hold peace. They know how to be discreet. They know how to discern. They know how to, they have etiquette. They got decorum, all of that, man. They know how to act. All right? You know what? Hold on. Hold on. I want to turn around. But no, religion today, man, is a farce. It's a sham. All right? You go into this, what is it? This documentary. What was it called? I keep forgetting the name. You can find it, I think, on Amazon Prime. It's called The Family Tree. All right? Even, I believe, the book of Josephus, okay, lets you know, or is it the 13th tribe? I think it's the 13th tribe of the book of Josephus, one of them. It tells about how Esau, the so-called white man, he saw these other nations thriving with something called religion. They had, because religion gives you, again, it gives you somewhat of an order, it gives you, I don't know how to explain it, but Lord willing, you understand. But religion will like a lot, you can use it. And that's exactly what the so-called white man did to the Israelites. So when you look at the word religion, let me just go to get it. The word religion actually goes back to the word religios. It's Latin, which the term religios, all right, it says right here, it can refer to the concept of religion itself, but also to the feeling of awe and obligations towards a higher power or the divine, which it should lead you to that. True religion, the true religion, because there's only one truth on the planet. All right? I've always said this too, man. It's not my saying, but I grabbed it. But there's a million ways to be wrong, but only one way right. All right? There's only one truth. And that one truth, if you have the true religion, the pure, the proper religion, the proper doctrine, it will lead you to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. All right? Wisdom of Solomon said that if you people could aim so much at the world, if you could believe this, you could see that, you can acknowledge this, but this and that, But you can aim at the world, and you can't find out the Lord though. So your religion is vain. Okay? So the term religion, religio, let's see. Well, it doesn't say it right there. Hold on. Here we go. The word religio, related to the Latin verb religare, meaning to bind or to tie back, implying a sense of being bound to a higher power or a moral code. Now, this is where you got to learn to chew the meat, to spit out the bones, because some of this is right, some of this is not, some of this is bullshit. All right? The term religio means to bind or to restrain or to tie back. That's what it means, specifically from the truth. Okay? Now, when you go into, let me see, right here, when I typed in was religion used to submit the so-called black man or the black man, Google said yes. During slavery in the United States, religion, particularly Christianity, was used by slave. It says sometimes. That's not the fucking truth. It's always. It was. Christianity was used by slaveholders to justify and enforce the submission of enslaved people. So what Esau did, you had something called the slave Bible. And what was done with that Bible was that all the parts of the Bible that talked about, deliverance to a higher power, seeking deliverance, certain laws where, clearly if you've been wronged, you're able to seek retribution, or, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, right? These parts of the Bible were taken out. They were ripped out. And how we know it's the so-called white man, you go back, slavery was done by the so-called white man. And you had a repeated part of that history during the Greek Empire, which, let me go ahead and get this. We already know where it goes to. Hold on. Google. What is that? First Maccabees. This is First Maccabees chapter 1. Excuse me. You're gonna have to excuse the congestion. First Maccabees 1, and I'll start at verse 55. It says, and I'll just get to the point. First Maccabees 1 and 56, it says, and when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found. That's talking about the scriptures. This is during the Greek Empire. This is when Antiochus came into Jerusalem. All right. This is when you had the Maccabean revolt. All right, with Judas Maccabeus. All right, you had some of our people, which that represents the elect today, man. You have our people today, man. We ain't submitting to these idols that are being set up. All right, you have idols all over the fucking place, man. You got pork. This is the Greco-Roman system, a society. You got pork all over in these fucking places. Everything is defiled. Esau is, today it's it's consensual. You people don't care. But back during the Maccabean revolt and during that time in the Greek Empire, our people did stand up. Some of our people did. A lot of our people submitted. All right. You have that same thing going on today. Okay. But during that time, you had Esau with his fucking anger and his hot head. He went throughout the city and he was tearing up the scriptures. All right. Tearing up the books, the scriptures. Okay. So, but and the only reason why I'm bringing this account out is because it's not a new thing. All right, the scriptures say there's no new thing under the sun. That's in Ecclesiastes. All right, Esau's done this before, and he did it here to keep Jake, because Esau knows, again, like I said, Esau knows that we are connected to a power. All right. He also knows that we're the most spiritual. That's another thing. That's another reason why he did it. We are the most spiritual people on the planet, the Israelites, and that's true. I mean, look at us. Look how silly we are with it, man. All right. So, anyways, it says, so First Maccabees 1 and 56, and when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they had found, they burnt them with fire. And whosoever was found with any of the book of the testament, or if any, committed to the law. Oh yeah. And whosoever was found with any, the book of the testament, or if any, committed to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put them to death. And you had that too during slavery. it was illegal to talk about that type of stuff, man. Like I said, deliverance, help from a higher power. You had something called drapetomania, all right? Drapetomania was this thing where Esau diagnosed us Israelites. He diagnosed Jake with any Israelite that desired to be freed from his slave master, that it was a mental disorder. That's fucked up, man. All right? But it was illegal to talk about things like that, or to get help, or want help, or to be delivered, or be freed from slavery. All right? So, I mean, just put it out here, man, that this devil, man, this motherfucker has twisted, and he has twisted a lot of shit up over the generations. And he's done a lot of cruel shit, man. And there's a lot more stuff that we don't even know about Esau doing. And stuff here and there gets revealed still. But there's a lot more that Esau has done to try to keep our people suppressed and away from our power. The main thing is just letting us run free in America, having a jolly time. All right? That's why he doesn't interfere, because he knows Jake is polluting himself. And that every time that he pollutes himself, he's getting nowhere near Yahweh Shemi Shai. Okay? So, yeah, religion was used to deceive the world, but it was mainly used for you Israelites too. All right, religion is a global thing, because with religion you can gain control of the world. That's in the family tree. All right, but it was used also, mainly for you Israelites, to keep you in submission to the so-called white man. All right, the newest Matrix movie is about that part. All right, so, anyways, let's go back to, was religion used to submit the black man? Said yes, during slavery, Christianity was used by slaveholders to justify and enforce the submission of enslaved people. When you go in the book of The Devastation of the Indies by Bartholomew de las Casas, it goes into how Esau, when he came over from Europe, he was calling himself a Christian while slaughtering, while doing atrocious shit. Bartholomew de las Casas recorded a lot of it. You have other books that surround it, but Bartholomew de las Casas recorded just inhumane, just cruel shit. Shit that only an Edomite could do. All right? And I highly suggest you read that book, but I always say, take caution. That shit will hurt you, man. That shit will piss you off. Because, a lot of our people, man, part of the submission, the plantation Christianity, man, is you turning a blind eye and a fucking cheek to what the so-called white man did to our people. All right? They still have that shit. That's why you niggas are trying to fucking still be cool with Esau, man. That's why you still trying to be like the white man. You want to be cool with the white man. Forgive the white man. All he got to fucking do is get on his knees and say, I'm sorry, and you fucking forgive him. But look at everything he's done. Look at the mental estate. The thing I look at the most is the mental estate of our people, man. Look how destroyed you are because of what this nigga did. Ooh, I'm getting hot. I'm getting mad. I got to calm down. One of the elders said it, man. He said Esau's the true nigger on the earth, man. He is, with the R. Not an A, an R. This devil, man, he's going to go down soon. So we ain't got to worry. He's going down. He is going down. Look at what's happening right now. All right, what is that? CTD, circle in the drain. So, but this is all justified, man. All right? I mean, this devil has broken every law in the scriptures, man. He that stealeth the man. All right, he's stolen. The scriptures tell you that the missiles spoken about in Joel, the army of the Lord, which is talking about these missiles, they're going to enter into the house of the thief. America's history is known for stealing. Literally. The so-called white man came and stole the land from you so-called Native Americans and Seminole Indians. Nigga. So anyways, I got to calm down because this lesson's going to go somewhere else. So anyways, Christianity was used by slaveholders to justify and enforce the submission of enslaved people. The scriptures say, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. Who is the most bugged out in the churches, man? All right. Who talks like a field, I'm not going to say it. Who talks like a slave? All right. It's you so-called blacks. All right. I don't see it much with you so-called natives and Latinos, but y'all are bugged out just as much. Y'all are bugged out just as much, man. Don't worry. It's just we know why. Again, we know why this happened. Judah, which was so-called Negroes, was at the forefront, and what made this possible today. Is this the end-all be-all? Fuck no. This was done so that the truth could eventually come out the way that we can do this right now. Because at one point in time, man, if Judah would not have been able to do what they did during the 60s and 70s, 80s, all right, 50s, I wouldn't be out here making a video. A cop would have came around already and probably, tied my ass up by a rope. All right. This is why Judah is so bugged out today, man, because they got the butt end of Esau while trying to fight for rights, which we ain't got rights still. Don't get that twisted. We ain't got free rights. We're not equal to the white man. All right. It's 15 black men to equal one white man. It's 7 so-called Latinos to equal one white man, and it's 3 or 5 to natives to equal one white man. The numbers always go up and down. Esau's a bitch. All right. So, but anyways. So, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. Like I was just saying, our people are still in slavery, man. But it was more known again during the the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, all right, 70s. I think the brother brought out that there were slaves that weren't even being there were slaves like up into the 70s and 90s, if I'm not mistaken, even early 2000s. I wouldn't doubt if there's still slaves today. I'm talking about, yes, master, pick the cotton for me today, type of slave shit. All right. Esau is like that, but who are the enslaved people? The Israelites. Okay. The ones that are heavily drawn to the Bible, the only ones that go to church the most and this and that. All right. Yet Christianity was incorporated during the 19th century. All right. Which was, I believe, it was a doctrine by, what's his name? Constantine the Great. All right. So, anyways, how religion was used for control. Here comes the bullshit. This is where you got to, again, chew the meat, spit out the bone. It says, justification of slavery. Some Protestant clergymen in the South began to defend the institution of slavery, invoking a Christian hierarchy that placed slaves in a position of obedience to their masters. That's why you had with the scriptures, the slave Bible. The scriptures were taken out, but the ones where it says that you shall obey your masters, obey them that have the rule over thee. It was all angled at Esau having control over you Jakes. All right. So when what was that movie? 12 Years a Slave. You had the slave master reading the Bible, and you had the blacks coming. They listened. Oh, yes, master. Yes. All right. But this is a real thing, man. Like, it has to be just put out there. Like, this is not made up. So what else has been done that people don't know about or have turned a blind eye to, that the so-called white man weaponized against you Israelites to keep you in submission or to keep you under control? So it says, slave owners encouraged the conversion of enslaved people to Christianity, believing it would make them more docile and accepting of their condition. See? And we know that Jake is simple and docile. All right? You had the movie Django. All right? And you remember the scene with what is it? What's his name? Leonardo DiCaprio, when he talked about the skull of the man that shaved his father for 50 years or whatever. He said that they had found the dimples where in the skull, where if you open up a white man's skull, it'll show creativity and something else. But then if you go in that same spot with the Israelites, that the dimples with a skull is most attributed with submission, right? Or obedience, something like that. I think, yeah, it was submission. Now, whether that may be true or not, I don't fucking really know. But that was definitely used against you Israelites. But the part about the submission part, again, religion, true religion, all right, the truth is supposed to have you submit to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. We are the most submissive because we're the only ones that can submit to Yahweh Shem Yahushai if the Lord call us. We're the only ones that can do that, man. So that area is attributed for Yahweh Shem Yahushai. I'm just saying it like that. Okay? And so, accepting our condition was never a thing. We were put into captivity for a punishment. Anytime the Israelites ever went into captivity as slaves, whether it was under the Medes, the Persians, the Iranians, or the Greeks, or the Hamites, the Chaldeans, okay, Mizraim, the Egyptians, you Chinese, Arabs, whatever, man, that's the Medes, all right? Whatever nation we went under slavery to captivity was for our punishment. You people don't understand that because the only motherfucking people on the planet that ever went into slavery was our people. And people don't, and you people, you simple ass Israelites can't understand that or see, connect the dots. Like, why was it only us? Why are we the only ones looked at this like this, man? You know, over the past few weeks, I went to a spot, 144. I went to this Elamite place, that served curry. And, bro, these people smell like shit, but they ain't talked about people. Esau don't fuck with them. You other nations don't fuck with them. Why don't you tell them to put some soap on them, man, or a deodorant? Like, making fun of them, like, bro, y'all smell like ass. Like, go shower. Here, for your birthday, I got you one day at a spa to clean your ass, man. You don't see that going on, but you see a Jake, he do one little ass thing and the world can mock him, Like, people you don't grab that we're the only people on the planet that weird shit and only shit happens to, man. But the scriptures tell us what it was for. We know, pursuant to Baruch, the 4th chapter. In fact, I'll go ahead and get it. Let the scriptures speak better, man. I don't want to keep on ranting. All right? The reason why we are in this condition, even in this time, the reason why your peon-ass brains can't grasp the concept of what's going on, and why you have the fucking audacity to talk shit and have attitudes and this and that and buck up, this is the reason why. All right? Baruch 4 and 5, it says, "You were sold to the nations. You were put into captivity, not for your destruction, but because," so again, you were sold, you were put into captivity, not for your destruction, but because you moved the Most High to wrath. You were delivered unto the enemies. All right, for you provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to the Heavenly Father. This is why it matters that you know what God you're worshiping. You can't just throw up some random ass, stupid ass ritual and say, this is to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. No, there's a way that the scriptures tell you, man, that the Lord spoke nothing concerning burnt sacrifice. But to worship Yahweh Shem Yahushai in truth and sincerity, the way he tells you to do it is how you worship him. There ain't no doing however you want to do it. And this is why our people are so fucked up today. Because they think they can do it however they want. But the Lord's going to kill you for that. It don't fucking matter that, well, my heart was in the right area. No, there's a way, a particular way in how the Lord wants you to worship him. And if our people as a nation don't do that, this is what happens. Really? It says, "For you provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to the Most High. You have forgotten the everlasting power that brought you up, and you have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you." It says, "For when she saw the wrath of the Most High coming upon you, she said, Hearken, O ye that dwell about Zion." Like, we've always been told to stop, man. Our people have always been told, stop thinking like that. Stop thinking that what you believe is right. Stop sacrificing to these fucking devils. Stop giving into a myth. All right? Yeah, a myth, or what do you call it, man? I don't know what to call it, but you got some people out there that they call these weird ass names, and they do ceremonies and this crap and that, and you're totally fucking off for it. Your religion is vain. All right. So, anyways, but you've been warned. Our people have always been warned, man. And one thing that you notice too with our people, you Israelites, is that every time you went into captivity, you would always rebel within that captivity. you'd end up finding a way to, you mingle. Scriptures talk about that. What is that? Psalms 104 or 106? That you were mingled among the heathen. Okay? Rather than repenting and turning to Yahweh Shem Shai and getting right, you end up becoming just like these motherfuckers, man. So, anyways, but you were warned. So, let me go back. The point is that we were put into captivity not to submit, but because we were being punished. Okay? So it says, so slave owners would encourage the conversion of enslaved people to Christianity, believing it would make them more docile and accepting of the conditions. And you had Esau, he would use his own slaves to influence new slaves that would be brought in. Like, hey, help them, be more accepting of the Bible, man. And the scripture that helps us be more according and, unison, whatever, however they spoken this out. It says they interpreted certain biblical passages to emphasize the duty of slaves to obey their masters, thereby reinforcing the existing power structure. All right. It says the curse of Ham. Some individuals invoked the curse of Ham narrative to rationalize the enslavement of people of African descent. It says, suggesting that even though they were created in the image of God, they were cursed to be a subservient race. And that's crazy. Because again, our people, it was only our people that believed that crap, man. It says, so resistance and alternative interpretations. It says black churches and resistance. Despite these efforts, enslaved and free black people often reinterpreted Christian teachings to find messages of hope, liberation, and equality. All right. And it talks about the Exodus narrative. All right. Because in Exodus, it would talk about slaves. All right. Well, again, the only people on the planet ever to be enslaved or slaves, just like the people in Egypt, were the Israelites. All right. But because you were called an African American today, you were called a black, a darky, a garboon, all right, nigga, the boys got too much sand, because you were called other names, these bywords, that's what they are, bywords in Proverbs, okay? I always love bringing out that garboon, all right, which is something that Esau would call Judah, you so-called blacks. Garboon goes back to the western parts of Africa of the country named Gabon. All right, because it's known that after 70 AD that you had Judah flee to the western parts of Africa along the coast. And Gabon is right along the coast. Okay? But that happens so that happened after the Israelites, which was Judah, Benjamin and Levi at the time, during 70 AD, fled persecution from General Vespasian and Titus and Domitian, and they fled after Jerusalem was destroyed. All right? So, just connect the dots, man. Like, I mean, we say this stuff now so easily, but you've had going for 60 years. Jake has had almost 60 years to get this knowledge, man. And in this time, I just said this last night to somebody, man, this is the age of technology and knowledge. As easy as it was for me to type, was religion used to submit the black man on Google. Took me 5 seconds. As easy as it was for me to type that up and look at all the information I got. So there's no excuse anymore really now. That's why we just talk to the camera. We talk to whoever is watching that believes, because at this point, man, if you can't get it with as simple as it is to find the information, that's on you. And the Lord really doesn't love you. He really doesn't like you. All right? So, anyways, it is important to understand that the role of religion in the lives of enslaved people was complex and multifaceted. While some used it as a tool of oppression, which is Esau, he used it as a tool of oppression because he knows that we're the most spiritual people on the planet. He knows we're the Israelites. All right? It says, while some used it as a tool of oppression, others found in it a source of hope, community, and the inspiration to resist and fight for their freedom, which we know that belongs only to the so-called black man. I think religion is a cultish, but the lessons from the stories are crazy though. Yeah, I mean, well, you got religion again, as I went into, goes back to the word religious, which means to bind or restrain. So religion today in America is a cult, because you got two definitions of a cult. Cult really comes from the word culture, or to cultivate, which a culture is what a nation or people has. But the cult today, yeah, like the KKK is a cult. All right. Being in a gang, being in a club is a cult. All right. Because religion is also, in the definition today, a modern definition, is a system that is used to help interpret where a person fits in society. So if literally I always use this in the earlier years, playing chess, being a chess club, man, is technically a cult. All right. Being a blood, a crip, is technically a cult. All right. These meetups that people have is technically a cult. But a hardcore cult like the KKK, people don't understand that KKK meant the Circle of Brothers, which the belief of the KKK was founded upon basically hate against anybody who was un-American. And anybody who's un-American could be anybody. It's not just a black man, all right? But Esau used that to turn against the black man. When what's his name? Elon found out about, or he discovered all these checks being given to these organizations and funds and charities and all that shit. There's a reason. I'm not too savvy on it, but the government or politics and politicians got to write off checks as bribes to other people, but they have to do it in a certain way so their money doesn't get seen or watched or whatever. So they have to write it off to an organization or a fund or a charity so the check can be given to that person. The whole reason I'm talking about that, damn, my train of thought is being lost about it. There's a reason why I was talking about it. Oh, yeah, just how it was twisted. On the check, it says $78,000 to help, or $78,000 to the fund of help gays spread in Panama. Looks nice, but the whole reason behind it is sadistic. All right. Same way with these cults and what Esau does, even what he does just in general today. Everything he puts up on the shelf as it looks good, it looks nice, but behind it is a sadistic, evil intent. All right. I mean, I at that point I could just talk about the chip, but this is the lesson is about submission doctrine. So, but yeah, all religion is a cult today. That's why I read in James. If any man's religion bridleth not his own tongue, this man deceiveth himself, his religion is vain. All right. There's only one true religion, and that's of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So, yeah. So it says, so that is probably it on that. All right. Let me see about, because I have gone for a minute. Let me try something. Excuse me. This is James 1. Okay, I'll start at 1:26 again and then end it on 1:27. James 1:26 said that if any man among you seem to be religious and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain. It says pure religion and undefiled before Yahweh, or Yahweh and Yahweh, before the Father. Excuse me. My goodness. Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this: to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. So if your religion brings you to a fucking church or a classroom, then your religion is bugged out. All right. The Lord has has the one speaking that pure religion. That's the men of the Lord out on the highways and hedges, on here on this platform we call YouTube, making these lessons, revealing the truth. All right, revealing the hidden things of dishonesty, condemning this world. Clearly, even right there, the Lord tells you to be unspotted from the world. All right, and we are not a part of this world. All right, so all in all, religion was used, religios, to bind or restrain Jake from the truth. All right? That's just what it is. That's what the lesson was about. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which rule well. Peace and much love, honors and blessings to the elect of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, which hold their conduct, composure, and integrity. To the next one I say, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Barakathum. Kwame Shalom, Shalom. The water for tuning in. Shalom.